Dependability isn't a piece of hardware, it's peace of mind. It's the confidence you get from knowing that every time you get behind the wheel, you're in a vehicle that's capable and reliable. Dependability isn't driving just any brand. It's driving the #1 most dependable mass market brand 3 years in a row by J.D. Power.
It's time for a Wild Breakaway presented by Luther Kia of Bloomington. Alongside Ben Clymer, I'm Audra Martin. The Wild opening up a very important week. Here tonight taking on the Carolina Hurricanes, a very good team. Unfortunately, Minnesota comes up short. 3-2 the final. A good effort. Some things to like in this game. Unfortunately, you would have liked to walk away with the 2 points.
Well, and they played well enough to certainly, argue that they should have had those 2 points. Special teams, well, it wasn't a power play goal. 2 seconds after a power play expired, Carolina scores their 3rd goal. The 4th line produces. The top line, we talked about how, talented they are and how important it is. If they're to play together, they have to produce. And while they didn't produce, they had 14 shots on goal. But they had some diversity in their scoring. The 4th line chipping in. Connor Dewar having himself an impact in tonight's game, getting a goal. Ryan Hartman had a pair of assists. Their production, one thing that is nice, and it means a lot, not just to those guys, but to the locker room to see those guys, get recognized, get paid off for all the efforts, because night in and night out, they work so hard for this team. They pay the price, they battle, they fight. They do the things that sometimes makes it easier for the Stars to be able to produce and not be in activities like this. And nice to see them get paid off for that.
The Wild had a 9-game point streak going against the Carolina Hurricanes here in downtown St. Paul. Unfortunately, that comes to an end tonight. Rod Brindamore, in his 6-year coaching career so far, there's only one team he had not beaten in regulation on the road, and that was Minnesota. Unfortunately, that has now changed. He's taken care of everybody, every team that his team has gone up against on the road. So tonight, like I said, a lot to like, a good battle, a hard-fought battle. And here's what John Hines had to say about the eventual outcome.
It was a hard-fought battle. I really liked our game. I thought, particularly in the second period, I thought we controlled the play and didn't give much up. But, it's the little details of things. It's the end of a long shift. When you get to that area of the ice, those are must-make plays that got to go in. And then we came out in the third. I thought we still, played well enough to win. And then obviously they get a bounce on the power play. So, to me, that's really the lesson out of the game is it's just continuing to recognize key situations in games. Decisions that need to be made at certain times, and you can see when you play good teams and you play a style of game that we played, it gives you a good chance to win the game.
The Wild now look ahead to 2 critically important games. Thursday, a battle against the Nashville Predators, a team that has won 6 straight games. And then the St. Louis Blues on Saturday. The 2 teams the Wild are battling with in the standings as we speak right now. Minnesota 6 points back. They'll look to change that, though, in these 2 Central Division showdowns later on this week. We look forward to seeing you for those 2 very important, very exciting games. Until then, for Ben Clymer, I'm Audra Martin. Thanks for joining us on this edition of Wild Breakaway presented by Luther Kia of Bloomington.